Okay, hey everyone, welcome to another episode of It Might Be You. I have a treat today. We're actually going to listen to a book, and for those of you that follow me on YouTube, you'll also be able to see the illustrations, and I highly suggest that you go watch. So today I have Gina Bell. She's the author of Tears and Tools. She's an empowerment guide and the founder of the Tears and Tools movement. How are you today?
I'm very good. Thank you so much for having me today.
I'm really excited. I was able to take the time out and watch you read the book, and it was really powerful. So I enjoyed it, and I love the movement. So, yeah. So, um, how about you share a little bit about you?
Sure. Again, I'm Gina Bell, and I'm the founder of the Tears and Tulle Movement, which is a movement that follows tulle skirts all around the world. And we help people to share their stories from within their tears moments. So I wrote a book that went along with that movement that was inspired by my life and by the women who are part of the project. And so I'm an author and a speaker and, like you said, an empowerment guide that just really likes seeing people reconnect with their color.
Awesome, awesome. So, with that, what was your "It Might Be Me" moment that made you go down that path and start this movement?
Yeah, so I had been wearing tulle skirts for a long time, and I was on an abandoned overpass during a photo shoot in Orlando, Florida, and someone had just gifted me this giant rainbow tulle skirt that was like bigger than I am. And I had paired it with a black t-shirt, and I thought, wow, this represents my tears and my color. And so someone said, "Hey, Gina, can you run?" And I fluffed up the skirt all around me, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm about to take off in this space and run down this overpass and connect with my color. And things were not going perfect for me at that moment or that week in my life. Like I had things that were coming up, just like all of us do, I think. And I thought, oh my gosh, if I can connect for just one moment with my magic from within the messiness of life, I can set an example so that maybe other people can connect for a few seconds at a time too. And that's what the movement's all about. And that moment changed me. It changed my life forever. So I'm really passionate about talking about that and about helping people to reconnect from within the messiness.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So,
Thanks.
I want my listeners to have the opportunity to hear and learn exactly what your book is all about. So, I'm going to be quiet right now and I'm going to let you read.
Thank you. And before I get started, I just want to mention that this might be a short book, but it's really like billions of pages long because all of our stories are like the stories in this book. We can all relate to pain, suffering, and connecting with our magic. So please do imagine your own stories from within the stories I'm about to tell you. Tears and Tulle, written by Gina Bell, illustrated by Elena Michaelatis. For my children and my mom, thank you for the spontaneous living room dance parties that often help me remember my magic. Gina Bell. To all the beautiful souls, may you find your rainbow and never let go. Elena Michaelatis. One day, a baby girl was born, wearing a skirt made of tulle. It was bright and colorful, like a rainbow jewel. The skirt was invisible, seen just by the girl. She giggled happily, watching its wild colors swirl. The skirt connected the girl to her magic, color, and dreams. When she was full of tears, the skirt sent her heart joyful beams. As the girl grew and grew, the magical skirt did too. Soon she realized that life could be messy and unfair. She needed to remember her skirt would always be there. She fluffed her skirt and jumped to her feet. She would wake up the skirt with her own special beat. Skip, dance, swish, twirl. Remember the spirit of that magical girl. Sometimes she felt scared, embarrassed, and like she didn't have a clue. So she fluffed her skirt and remembered the fun of trying something new. There were times she felt left out, misunderstood, and like she would never fit in. So she fluffed her skirt and remembered to be comfortable in her own skin. Skip, dance, swish, twirl. Remember the spirit of that magical girl. And when life was just too much and her eyes filled with tears, she fluffed her skirt and remembered she could learn from her fears. The tears made her wise and watered the dream in her heart. Fluffing her skirt, she remembered she was a growing work of art. Skip, dance, swish, twirl. Remember the spirit of that magical girl. As she grew older, her days could feel overwhelming, crazy, and long. So she fluffed her skirt and remembered she was radiant, resilient, and strong. Sometimes it felt like her life was falling apart at the seams. So she fluffed her skirt and remembered she could always connect to her dreams. Skip, dance, swish, twirl. Remember the spirit of that magical girl. She celebrated her failures and the lessons they taught her along the way. She fluffed her skirt and remembered she had something important to say. She trusted the wisdom in her heart to help others grow, learn, and heal. Fluffing her skirt, she remembered her struggles made her beautiful and real. Skip, dance, swish, twirl. Remember the spirit of every magical girl. And then here at the end of the book is the story behind the skirt. It says, "Hi, my name is Gina Bell, and I'm the creator of Tears Tulle, a women's empowerment movement that celebrates women who show up from within the chaos of everyday life to connect with their magic. In 2018, my life changed on an abandoned overpass in Orlando, Florida. I was wearing a simple black tank and the most magical rainbow-colored tulle skirt. I had purposely paired the colorful skirt with a black t-shirt to relay a special message to myself and people everywhere. We don't need to wait for life's perfect set of circumstances to connect with our extraordinary color. My purpose with the Tears Tulle movement is to reconnect women with their joy and color, even during life's darkest moments. It may sound strange, but the rainbow skirt woke up something wonderful in me. I want women everywhere to experience what I did, a clarifying moment of vulnerability, magic, and happiness. A year and a half after that day on the overpass, I launched Tears Tulle. I'm sharing the rainbow skirt with 52 people over 52 weeks as a way to inspire women everywhere to reconnect with their color, the tulle, from within the darkness, the tears of real life. While organizing the movement, I learned that my friend and rainbow tulle skirt designer, Cass Youngs, had always hoped that one of her creations would travel the world. She loved that our two ideas would become one. Each woman in the movement is asked to pair the skirt with something black, make their unique magic in it, and share their Tears Tulle story. Time after time, participants have shared how much love and positive energy the rainbow skirt radiates. And many participants have used their time with the skirt to reflect on their greatest struggles. That's what Tears Tulle is all about, embracing our perfectly imperfect lives. And the Tears Tulle movement continues to grow and evolve in amazing ways. You can start a movement by starting your own Tears Tulle tribe or becoming a Tears Tulle trailblazer. The end. And I don't know if people can see the pictures a little bit, but there are pictures in there of the different women up until now who are wearing the skirt.
So that leads me to my next question. How many
Sure.
people have taken the skirt so far?
Yeah, so it has been all over the United States. It went to Honolulu and came back. It's been to Canada, and it just came back to locally. I'm right on the border of Indiana and Illinois, near Chicago, and it is on house 43. It's actually at a friend of mine's house right now, so it's kind of exciting for me. But yeah, it's been to 43 houses so far, and it'll travel for 52 and then restart with season 2 with the first participant. And we have a waiting list through season 3 at this point. So it's really,
Okay.
it's
So,
going places.
yeah, it sure is. So how long does each woman have it?
Yeah, each woman has it for about 7 days. And because of COVID, we're running about 6 months over the year mark right now because just so many things happen with shipping and that sort of stuff. So I'm learning about grace and patience and about letting things evolve in a natural way because you can't control the shipping. So yeah, people have it for about a week, and it's amazing to see the different participants talk about how they feel from the moment it gets there to the moment that they send it off to the next woman on the list.
Well, and to think, I'm big on energy and just the positive energy of the whole movement. I can only imagine, what it feels like to actually have that skirt on when you know that it's just filled with positive, um,
Yeah.
the positive intent behind it. So, what is your vision? Like, how many do you have a number of, how many people do you want to wear this skirt?
Yeah, what's cool is a couple of months into the movement, we realized that that one skirt wasn't enough to reach as many people as we wanted to. And so we created these Tears Tulle Trailblazer program and a Tears Tulle Tribe program where people could either wear skirts of their own and kind of stand alone and tell their story, always paired with something black. That's the whole Tears Tulle, that's the magic behind it, is that we're all standing in this space together. But everyone wears the skirt with something black. But we have trailblazers and we have tribes. So with trailblazers, tell their stories, and then a lot of our trailblazers become tribe leaders, and so then they share their skirt with different women in their groups. And so that is just starting to kind of evolve and grow out into the world a little bit. So I kind of see it like all those skirts and then this one original skirt are all forming like this giant tulle skirt that is sort of wrapping around all of us and encouraging us to take up space in the world. So, and this isn't the tulle that we grow up seeing for sure. It's different.
Awesome. So yeah, this I don't know when you reached out and we connected, I immediately went and watched you read the book, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. It kind of reminded me of the Sisterhood of Traveling Pants. That was the
Yes.
first thought that I got. I was like, oh, this is cool. This is like the jeans, but it's so much more than that because it's reaching so many different types of women. And the next thought I had was, it really makes you connect to the little girl inside. And um, for people that may struggle with doing that, it's hard not to. Um, and I think I was somebody that kind of struggled with listening to the little Leah. Um, but as I get older, I'm realizing she's still in there. And this book just kind of brought that back to the forefront that, you forget as you get older and life happens that there's still a little girl in there with all the big dreams. And I think that your book is, even though, like you said, it's short, it's still such a powerful reminder. Um,
Thank you.
so, yeah. And what are some of the stories, I guess, from other women that stood out to you
And just with you sharing how you felt about the book reminded me of one of our participants, Nadine. If you were to go, if you Google Tears and Tulle, you'll find all kinds of pictures and stuff. But if you see one that's Nadine, and she's actually taking her pictures at a playground, and she was saying, I don't know how long it's been since I've been to a playground, and she took these beautiful pictures. But she had mentioned that we never know who we're setting an example for. Like, we never know. We just never know. And that, it's giving me goosebumps right now, because we don't know who we're reaching with our stories, or, with continuing to show up in the world and connect with our color. But at the end of her little write-up that accompanied her pictures, she said, even if it's the younger you looking back at you in the mirror. And I thought, oh, yes. Like, even if it's that little girl or that teenager that just didn't know how to cope with certain things, or didn't know how to, stand in her own power and really communicate and all that stuff, so that you really just reminded me of that when you mentioned, remembering the little girl. I think that could be such a powerful exercise to kind of look in the mirror.
Yeah, I know when I first started my journey into being the best version of Leah that I could be, that was one of the assignments that I had from my mentor, which was to do mirror work and to stand in front of the mirror and talk to little Leah. And the amount of ugly crying that I did during that was insane. And then just within the last couple weeks, I've been doing a lot of root work, and I'm realizing there's still like a lot of hurt from when I was 7 years old. And so I have been trying to get in touch more with that little girl, that, like I said, I just kind of buried because life happens, and you grow up and you forget to have fun, and you forget to show your color. Um,
Yeah.
and I noticed that a friend of mine was talking to me about branding on social media, and this is so different than, but it's on topic. Um, I wanted to follow the trend, which was the clean lines and all that, and forget color. Um, and she said, "Why would you do that? Why? To be like everyone else? Why have the bland colors? That's not really who you are." Um, and that woke me up a little bit. She's like, don't be afraid to show your color. Embrace that. So many other people aren't doing that. Be who you're going to be. And that's another like thing that stood out for me with that book, was the color, that especially after having that conversation with her, I was like, oh yeah, we we don't we don't like to show color, we don't. We go with the trend.
Right.
Um,
I was saying the other day how so the skirt started out in this giant box. Okay. It was like this huge cardboard box that my designer friend sent it over in. And I swear that the box gets smaller every stop it makes. Like, it shrinks down, it gets smaller. It's like this clown car when it comes out. And the women say they could feel the energy just like flooding through them, that there's this collective sort of energy of everyone kind of cheering them on. And I think that we become so comfortable in the what did I say? Oh, I know what I said. I'd become so tired of breaking my own bones to fit into boxes I didn't
oh
even
my,
like, and boxes I didn't even create, that my mom maybe didn't even create, and then it goes, through that sort of ancestral line. And I really think the box is a great representation of that it grows, it's like the Grinch's heart or something. It's like it grows like 3, 5, 7, 10 sizes the size that the box is. And I think the only way to really mend those bones, and we're not going around like breaking our own bones, but when we become smaller to fit into these spaces, to feel accepted or loved or part of something that we're not even sure we want to be part of, I think that, we do break our own bones, like fitting into those spaces. And I really think connecting with our color again helps us to mend, helps us to take one step out of those sort of traditional boxes that, and we become so comfortable. We think they're normal, and we think we're supposed to sort of shrink into them. But I'm here to tell you, like, the more you get out of the box, the more comfortable you get, even though it can be really scary.
Yes, it's
So that you reminded me of that with your color talk.
yeah, and we get in a comfort zone, and when you do get out of it, it's one of the most freeing feelings. Um, and I'm somebody, I guess, that prided myself in not putting myself in a box, um, because I was homeschooled all the way through from kindergarten to high school. So I didn't feel like I had to fit in to be accepted and all that. But when I got into the real world, I had to, like you said, break my bones to fit. So that way I, could uh, fit into corporate America and do all these things that I wasn't really in alignment with. And I feel like a lot of women have to do that. Um, we have to, as you said, break your bones to fit in, and maybe wear the bland colored clothes and things, because if you're too loud, then it's, not appropriate, or whatever. That's what we're told, at least. And so this movement that you created is just amazing. Um, so that uh, these ladies that have been able to experience, and now my listeners being able to hear this, hopefully we can get some of them on your list.
Yeah, become trailblazers, blaze that trail, share your stories. I would absolutely love to hear more stories of women connecting and taking up space.
Yes, and that's the thing, taking up space, um, because we forget to, like I said, you get caught up in life, mom, being mom, being wife, whatever, and you forget to take care of you. And so this book and this movement is super, super important. And I'm glad that
Thank
I
you.
have the opportunity to share it with people that may not have otherwise known. And I'm glad that we got to talk and talk about this. To me, it's an important topic.
Thank you.
So, one question I have for you is, um, what what other piece of advice, I guess, would you give to a woman who wants to start living full out and showing her color, um, and empowering herself to, get that confidence to do that?
I just saw a Glennon Doyle. She wrote Untamed, this book Untamed, and she just shared this quote recently that said, and I'm probably going to quote it wrong, but something like this: "My life is mine and mine alone, and I've decided to stop taking directions from people who aren't even on my path." And so that one really hit me hard, because I think for a lot of my life, I have really absorbed what other people thought I should be doing, and maybe not even in a purposely intentional, way where I'm like, oh, I'm going to go do those things. But I was not allowing myself to be sort of the navigator of my own life in a lot of ways. And so I think when we can take moments where, especially in a picture perfect social media world, where we could say, like, unless you were born with in a bubble with a blindfold on, you've had struggles, you've had things that have happened to you, and it's part of life. And we're all going through things together. And, you know, we can still connect with our magic from within that messiness. But I think when we wait, I'm going to wait until this, and this happens before I go after my dreams or before I try this new thing. Like a couple of weeks ago, I just decided that I'm going to climb out of a giant Gina size box on stage next time I speak with a tulle skirt on and everything. And I'm just going to come out of this box. I'm going to talk about boxes. And it's terrifying, you know, like, and if I waited until I really felt ready, I don't think I would probably ever get to that, you know, that box stage moment. So I do this exercise with people called the even when, especially thens, and they're the tears and tulle moments of our lives. And so I always encourage people, even if you do these once a week or once a month or something, you could take something you really like about yourself, you follow with a tears moment, and then you end it with especially then. So you would say something like, I am smart even when I forget my computer password, especially then. Like, it's especially in the moments where we don't feel connected that we need to remember that we're, you know, magical beings on this planet that are meant to bring this color into the world. So I don't know, that would be my little bit of advice, I guess, to kind of band us all together.
And that's amazing. It just hit me a little bit like, oh yeah. Um,
Do you want to name yours? Do you want to say something you like about yourself, followed by a tears moment? And I'll go in that space with you.
Yeah, let's see. Let me think. What is something?
Putting you on the spot.
Yeah. So, a tears. So it's you do it with the tears moment, or you start it with something.
Say something you love about yourself. So like, I am blank, even when blank, which is the tears. And then I'll end it with you and we'll say especially then together.
Okay. I am patient, even when um, I'm getting, and because this happens, I'm getting yelled at. Um, and especially, I don't know if I'm doing it right.
No, you did it perfectly. So you're patient even when you're getting yelled at, because that's an icky feeling. And then we end it together. We say especially then, because we're in this space. I hold this space with you for you to feel your tears and let them water your dreams. So.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking about it today. Well, over the last week, I've gotten yelled at a lot by one of the other things that I do. I don't know if I mentioned, you know, I'm a sponsored residential provider for two individuals with intellectual disabilities. And so I was gone for 2 weeks. And so it's been a readjustment back into Leah is home and now Leah's in, you know, in charge. And we have to start getting back on a good routine. And so it's been push and pull a little bit. And so gotten yelled at quite a bit this week and growled at and and all kinds of other stuff. But that was that's a powerful thing. So I'm gonna have to write that one down because
Even when, especially then, yes. It's kind of like Mad Libs where you would add in the words, except I don't know, this one's maybe deeper than that. So I am blank, even when blank, especially then.
Yeah, that's great. So yeah, that was it makes you think. It does. It makes you think. It makes you sit in that feeling for a minute and then just let it go. Just let it go. So that's a good one.
Thanks.
Yeah. So I'm trying to, oh, I have another good one, another good question. Are
Okay.
you writing a follow-up to?
Yes. So the brother book, the boy book, will come out probably spring 2022. So I just finished writing it. The illustrator, Elena, is working on the illustrations. The editor has it, everything that happens behind the scenes when you publish a book. And so this story is about a boy and his multicolored cape that grows alongside him as he grows. And there's a twist. It isn't exactly like the traditional capes we see growing up. It also connects the boy with his vulnerability and his feelings and standing in his true self, like whatever that means for him. And so the girl in the story, she fluffs her skirt. The boy in the story hugs his cape every time he feels empowered. He hugs his cape. And so, yeah, that's what I'm working on right now, is bringing that story out into the world. And there's a men's movement that launches in a couple of weeks, June 2021, that will actually follow it's called Tears Taffeta. So another fabric, not tulle, but taffeta. And so there's a taffeta cape that's this massive, strong, beautiful, colorful cape that will start with my brother wearing it. And then it will go to 12 men over 12 months, and they'll share their Tears Taffeta stories. So it's growing, expanding, making room for everybody.
Awesome.
So yeah.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, because men especially, unfortunately, they're not able to show their emotion as openly and freely as women. And so that's definitely an important movement as well.
It's a little scarier for me because it will challenge the way that things normally are, just like the skirt does, So I'm excited. I'm excited to bring this story to light and, see who might be able to connect with it.
Yeah, because you telling me, I was like, oh, that is, I know a couple guys that would love that story already, or love the book just based off of that. It reminded me of my husband. We joke a lot about him thinking that he was a superhero when he was a child. So um, he, I think, would resonate with the cape, because we would talk and joke a lot about that when we
Oh,
were
good.
younger. I try not to do it now since we're older, but yeah, that's an amazing movement in itself. So you said that's coming out next year.
Yeah, so the book will, as long as I get enough pre-orders, and hopefully that won't be a problem, but it's supposed to come out spring of 2022. So the movement launches in June of this year, and then we'll share some of the pictures of some of the men wearing the cape in the back of the book. So the book won't be ready for several months from the launch of the movement, the project.
Yeah. Awesome. So, trying to think of any other questions that pop in, because I definitely wanted to know if there was going to be a follow-up to the Tears and Tools. So I'm glad to hear that there's one. Has there been any other requests for you to maybe just make a book of pictures of the different women wearing?
Yeah, you're spot on tonight. So we're going to have a magazine that'll come out in 2022 that will have a bunch of these beautiful pictures, probably one or two per participant, and there's 52 people. And so they'll be sharing quotes and different inspirational things that came to them while they were wearing the skirt. So hopefully that'll be available in the spring as well, as long as everything comes together the way I'm hoping that it will.
Awesome. Awesome. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing, like, I'll be looking for that because I want to see these other ladies who've had the opportunity to experience that positive energy and been able to wear that skirt and feel that empowerment. Um, that, that makes me happy. I, seeing people feel good is something that is important to me. And so, yeah, I would love to see that. And so I'll be keeping my eyes open for that. Um,
Wonderful.
you gave such a good piece of advice already. So, how can my listeners purchase your book?
Yeah. So they can go on ginabell.co. So it's ginabell.co. And I'll give your listeners and viewers a discount code, which is the word rainbow. So if you go to ginabell.co, you use the code rainbow. And that's for US and Canada orders. If you're outside of the US or Canada, you'll have to go on Amazon to order it there. And you just put Tears and Tulle in the search. But if you Google Tears and Tulle, I think one of the first things that pops up is also information on the book. So it should be pretty easy to find.
Okay, awesome. Because I know for me, my niece, I told you, my maiden name is Bell, and so her last name is Bell. And for her, anytime she sees Bell, she just gets excited. So I want to order the book for her because she's really
Well, you
into.
let me know if you do, and I'll make sure that I personalize it for her, or at least put a little message in there with and
Oh,
sign it and
that
that.
girl, she's gonna love that because she's really right now into tulle skirts. So this is like right up her alley. So
Nice.
I want her to have this because it's so positive and
Oh,
empowering.
thank you.
Well, with that, is there any other way for my listeners to contact you on social? Um,
Yeah, if you on Facebook, we have a couple groups. We have the Tears and Tulle Movement group, which is just Tears and Tulle. It's a group on there. We have the Tears and Tulle book community, which is a super fun community where you can find out what's happening with the book and see pictures and things like that at readings. And Instagram is Tears and Tulle or Gina Marino Bell. So those are my two handles. Oh, and now we have Tears and Taffeta. So you could actually find that. There might not be very many people in it yet, but there's Tears and Taffeta, and that's on Instagram as well.
awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay. Well, I want to thank you for coming on and reading and sharing your movement. Like I said, it touched me, and so I felt like I wanted to share that with my community. So thank you for coming and blessing my listeners with your book.
It was an honor to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, and I would love for you to come back when you launch um, or when Tears and Taffeta is out, so we can hear that too.
You got it.
All right, great. Thank you.